popular sentiment after the last video that I posted was how a lot of you miss the old charm of Hindi cinema. Stories that were of the people just like you and me and primarily shed light on the struggles that are flung their way. Marital pressure in Bareilly Ki Barfi, hair loss in Bala, body shaming in Dum Laga Ke Haisha, dealing with loss and family ties in Ram Prasad Ki Tervi, the stigma that comes with late pregnancy in Badhai Ho. All of these films present stories that deeply resonate with the masses and never seem to ape what was already popular. With the onset of mass action films that are compelled to be larger than life so that audiences can be excited for the theatre experience, the stories that were once popular have become even more rare. Stories like Mrs. Chatterjee vs. Norway are a dime a dozen, and we do really only look forward to the event films, and this has only made me realize after finishing up on my binge list that you have recommended to me that all the exceptional, unique, layered and effective storytelling is actually happening on streaming. With the number of uploads I do across languages, I have definitely played catch up with many shows that you have told me to watch in the comments below. Please do carry on doing the same because it does keep me on my toes, and I have to tell you that there are 5 standout series that I believe are providing not only impressive stories but are showcasing talent and performances that otherwise don't get the opportunities with theatrical releases. But before that, I want to slightly rant about another show. I finished 4 episodes of Citadel, and the moment I had put out a video after 2 episodes, fans of Priyanka Chopra and avid Russo brothers enthusiasts assured me that it has a possibility to get better, and I have to confirm that it has followed the same tropes that plagues its setup. It's uncomfortably cheesy, not even effective with its dialogue bazi like our own action films. Its $300 million budget is next to absent in each frame. The action set pieces offer nothing inventive, and I still wonder. I am all for Priyanka's pursuit of global domination and making a name for herself in Hollywood, but my god is the storytelling mediocre to say the least in Citadel. A show hyped so much and lacking any form of bite that will engage you. While I root for her success, it's pretty crazy that streaming shows in India are offering far more compelling badass characters for women, and I feel like Priyanka would be such a good fit for so many shows that are going on streaming here versus a soulless project like Citadel that is barely causing waves even internationally. Now that my rant is over, let's get to the shows that I can't stop raving about, and it is about bloody time that I got to speak about them. Cat. The only cheat code I'm using in this video because Cat technically released last year and I binged it entirely in 2023, so bear with me. But I genuinely feel that this series deserves so much more love and hype than it originally got. Randeep Hooda is an absolute revelation as Gurnam Singh aka Gary, an actor who I feel immerses himself in characters like no one else. I remember hearing stories of the way he embodied Sikh culture and customs in preparation for the unreleased project Battle of Saragadi, and the impact that process may have had shows in this series on how seamless his diction and body language is, especially in context to a series entirely narrated in the Punjabi language. A state marred with corruption and drug abuse, Gary is assigned by Sehtab Singh, played by Suvinder Vicky, to become a mole in the drug cartel managed by the current Chief Minister, Madam Olak. This series, at the same time, sheds light on deep familial and childhood trauma, the origin stories of individuals that come out of a state enveloped with civil and religious conflict, and especially lays focus on how one shapes up to become an amalgamation of their experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Danish Sood as Gary's younger brother, Geeta Agarwal as Madam Olak, and the tough exterior she has to put out as life's anchor, Hasleen Kaur's sensitive portrayal of a cop wanting to take the noble path, and unhinged Monty played by Manish Gulati, all of these stellar performances culminate into an extremely engaging thriller that has not only a stellar screenplay to make one wonder and guess about the characters' intentions and their next move, but to also emotionally understand and connect with the ensemble cast, making me regret not binging and raving about this soon enough. Jubilee. A series that deserves all the love and the saturation of uploads that often I get consumed by. I just could not get to do a solo episode to appreciate its sheer brilliance. This not only solidified in my eyes the sheer range Vikramaditya Motwane has as a creator, but how it's literally a dream to see unfold for anyone obsessed with the film industry and its evolution. I mean, Vikram has made a coming-of-age story like Udaan, a deep romantic drama like Lotera, a superhero film like Bhavesh Joshi, and a layered thriller like Sacred Games, and all with great conviction. A period epic in its finest sense, the series is nothing short of a masterclass. Essentially, if you think about it, it takes snippets of actors like Ashok Kumar and Raj Kapoor and fictionalizes several elements of their origin story and what the industry was experiencing as it was nearing independence from British rule. The series is such a time machine. It boasts of exceptional sets, an album for the ages composed by Amit Trivedi, and boasts of performances, in some cases breakout roles that showcase talent that have all the makings of becoming stars in the future. Amit Trivedi especially leaves such a mark with his tracks, making me also believe he's the go-to maestro in capturing any decade across history with conviction. Sare Ke Sare Akele has been on loop for me since weeks. The creation of the myth of Madan Kumar becomes the sole purpose of Shrikant Roy, the head honcho of Roy Talkies, played brilliantly by Prosenjit Chatterjee. The madness that consumes Binod Das, played by Apar Shakti, in this quest to escape his sorry existence takes a Shakespearean route, as one gets consumed by demons of his past. The performances of Siddhant Gupta and Vamika Gabbi especially stand out, having a charm, wit and screen presence that leaves an everlasting impact. There is a nazakat to Vamika and a natural tehrav in Siddhant that really makes me very hopeful for their future in the film industry. This fire within oneself to prove their worth despite all odds being stacked against them makes Jai Khanna's journey even more special, but his longing for Nilofer and the prospect of what could have been still aches my heart. While the subplot that dwells deep on propaganda films and the case of wiretapping and spying slightly borders on being cheesy, it is the individual journeys of artists and the lengths that they are willing to go to create their art or be revered by the masses is where the film peaks. One does argue if the show's slow-paced narrative was a hurdle, but I felt it was essential to be transported to that era, so that one gets well versed not only with the characters but the timeline in which it is set. Could a film ever take a deep dive into the film industry and be celebrated this way if it became a theatrical release? I highly doubt it, especially allowing talents like Vamika and Siddhant to be showcased on the global map. The web series space is providing such beautiful opportunities to credible talent. Dancing on the Grave. I know there are many people on this channel who are avid fans of crime documentaries, and we share our deep love for the binge-worthy episodes of JCS Criminal Psychology, but one Indian documentary that truly hooked me in after the Borari deaths last year is a series titled Dancing on the Grave on Amazon Prime Video. A story that many people from Karnataka, especially Bangalore, may be well versed with. The series focuses on the disappearance and murder of Shakrik Khalili, a real estate developer and philanthropist with a royal lineage who just 6 months after her divorce with her first husband, an Indian diplomat Akbar Khalili, got married to Murli Manohar Mishra, also known as Shraddhanand. The series of events that followed in Shakiri's life since her first marriage, the influence of Shraddhanand and how it ostracized her from her own family, and especially the active pursuit of her daughter that led to several developments, is a great case study of what can transpire when one is not surrounded by people who have your best interest. A life of abundance and wealth is reduced to nothing with the leeches that have one ulterior motive, to look out for their best interests, and the several anecdotes of family members and professionals that describe the sequences of events, especially as Shraddhanand himself is interviewed and vehemently denies everything, will really send chills down your spine. A documentary that I would highly recommend. Saas Bahu or Flamingo. Can you ever imagine a theatrical release of a gory thriller led by Dimple Kapadia which showcases her leading a successful drug cartel, all a result of the deep trauma and violence that life flung the way of a gypsy set in Rajasthan? This is the beauty of streaming platforms that allow such wild and wacky ideas to be a reality and done with such conviction that you become grateful for the gateways that have opened to make them a reality. Homi Adajania, in my opinion, is probably one of the most underrated creators who has brought interesting ideas that have always delivered in guaranteeing a unique experience. Everything from Being Cyrus, Cocktail to Finding Fanny, Adajania is someone I consider to be the hipster hermit kingdom of Bollywood. Through this wild series, he brings formidable, strong and independent women running a business and thriving due to the popularity of a drug called Flamingo. Their handicrafts business works as a front, and the series focuses on the threats and violence that commence from enemies, the origin stories of several characters, the messed up relationships within the family, and the decision of who will be the ultimate heir to the throne of the 500 crore business. The series does not shy away from being extremely graphic, gory and unapologetically real. It invests you especially as it takes a deep dive into the origin story of Rani Ba, played by Dimple Kapadia, a heartbreaking tale expressed with great conviction by Priyasha Bhardwaj, who plays young Savitri, who becomes eventually Rani Ba. This series boasts of such distinct personalities across the board, and this is what makes the dynamic and several of its interactions so memorable. You've got the dim-wit sons returning back home, hilariously portrayed by Varun Mitra and Ashish Verma. You've got the stoic and loyal adopted son Dhiman, played by Udit Arora, the fiery daughter-in-laws played by Angira Dhar and Isha Talwar, and an exceptionally confident Radhika Madan as the youngest in the family. Each character leaves a distinct impression on you, but if you ask me personally, it's the character arc and conviction of Angira as Kajal who really stands out. Even though I feel that the ultimate climax and the action set pieces could have been choreographed better, and a worthy antagonist like Deepak Dobriyal as Monk deserved a better origin story, they literally extract what Deepak is capable of as a villain versus how he was terribly wasted in Bhola. This series will surely hook you in with its 8-episode running time. There are crazy ideas we dream of without the forced unnecessary preaching, and Adajania proves himself yet again as a brilliant storyteller. I don't think I can fully justify how brilliant Dimple Kapadia is in this series, but she is a legend truly for not only having a stellar 2023, but proving her mettle that she can lead a series at 65 with an insane physical and emotional capability. Something that you can't even say for a younger demographic. The command on her speech and the way she keeps you hooked with her intense eyes, I have to say this series was the biggest surprise for me on how it just makes you binge the show in one go. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Dahaad. I had a few months ago got trolled after mentioning in my Unpopular Opinions episode that Sonakshi Sinha is an underrated actor, that the perception of her talent often gets masked due to the massy nature of her choices, and when she does make an active choice to do the understated and nuanced roles like Lutera and her part in Kalank, she really does shine. Dahaad is another classic case of an actor often represented as limited in her range, shining as she assimilates seamlessly with the talented duo of Zoya Akhtar and Reema Kakti. The series that just dropped this weekend was such an engaging watch for me. A series of mysterious deaths take place across districts of Rajasthan, only for the Mandava police station to actively pursue the case, creating a pattern and understanding that a really twisted individual is behind such gruesome acts. I do agree with the criticism of the series that it could have been wrapped up under 6 episodes, and that the last series of events almost seemed like a quick fix, a collaborative effort to wrap up the proceedings in the last episode. But I would also like to reiterate that some of the criticism that this series is getting is in many ways misplaced. I knew with the Reema Kakti written project like Talash, in my opinion, one of the most underrated thrillers from Hindi cinema, the core focus was not understanding the accident of Arman Kapoor and the sequences of events that lead the police officer to Rosie, but it was an attempt at portraying humans dealing with loss and how the journey coping with that missing piece manifests in different ways. Similarly, Dahaad is not about the surface, which is the particulars of the investigation, the motivation of Vijay Varma's demonic performance, but it is the several themes that the series sheds light upon. The incessant pressure and need in making women feel that they are incomplete without a companion, how the conditioning of women of putting marriage on a pedestal makes them desperate for the slightest validation, in feeling like a liability for their own household, how the flicker of attention from a man is enough and totally clouds their judgment of what they want. This is exceptionally portrayed in a scene where Sonakshi confronts her own mother. Gulshan Devaiya's character, Devi Lal Singh, is a dream for his children. He has an open conversation about sex with his son, always validates and stands for his daughter, urging her to lead an independent and individual journey in not having to conform but stand on her own 2 feet. The fear of Soham Shah in seeing the misery with several cases they investigate. What really is the point of introducing a young child to a world where there is only animals masked as humans? These relationships are the soul of Dahaad that really make it shine. Vijay Varma, just like Darlings, puts forth another stellar act, making me think if he ever does a romantic film, I just won't trust him. The sinister smile, the ease with which he breaks the initial awkwardness with the opposite sex, it's creepy to say the least, making me really think that the last few weeks in the streaming space for Indian cinema really has been entertaining and engaging, much more than the movie outings we have had since the last few weeks, that's for sure. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about these web shows that have come out in recent weeks. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.